Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy coming to you out with a brand new video. Before we get into the video, hit that like button, subscribe, and comment down below your thoughts on this video. Now without further ado, let's get into the video. So today we're doing an Eastern Conference NBA rankings going into the 2024-2025 NBA season. So this is just the Eastern Conference. I'm gonna do my Western Conference tomorrow, and then I'm gonna do player rankings and so on. We're gonna get the summer going, man. Let's get it. Alright. So the first seed for me is the Boston Celtics. All right, they're the champions. They brought back everybody in their core. One top 5 to top 10 player in Jason Tatum. One top 10 to top 15 player in Jaylen Brown. Both the guys combined make $600 million, $300 apiece. Kristaps Porzingis back, signed Derek White to an amazing contract. Al Horford is back. They kept the entire core together, and they're the team to beat. Everybody's making a contender. Everybody's making their team to be able to rival the Boston Celtics. They're getting the double wings to guard Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. But yeah, they are my first seed. And now let's talk about my second seed, the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, if you guys watched my recent couple of videos, I had mentioned that the Philadelphia 76ers were my second seed. And as much as a New York Knicks fan I am, I have to give the Philadelphia 76ers the edge and put them as a second seed. Now, on paper, a team of Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, Paul George, Kelly Oubre, Caleb Martin, that is a phenomenal defensive team. I cannot lie to you. The superstar Joel Embiid, budding superstar in Tyrese Maxey, and a very, very high-end complementary player in Paul George, who can look like a superstar in some given moments. And, you know, signing him, getting Andre Drummond, getting Reggie Jackson, just phenomenal pickups all around for the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, on paper, it looks good, but we have to see on core how it's going to look, how they're going to fit together. Is the chemistry going to work? That's still to be known. And the 3 seed is going to be my New York Knicks. Now, the New York Knicks last year outdid themselves. Nobody expected us to be a top 4 seed last year. Jalen Brunson turned into a top 10 to top 8 to top 13 player in the NBA. And, you know, we went to the Eastern Conference Finals with an injured team. Josh Hart was hurt. Jalen Brunson got hurt. Mitchell Robinson was hurt. Julius Randle was out. OG Anunoby was out. Bojan Bogdanovic was hurt. Everybody on our team was hurt. We had 7 playable guys, and we were one win away from the Eastern Conference Finals. I gotta give the 3 seed to my New York Knicks. I'm expecting them to be a top 3 seed. Don't get me wrong. I do want them to be a second seed. You know, the first seed is very hard to catch up to, but the second seed I think is very realistic. Now, I just gotta give the slight advantage to the 76ers, but don't get it wrong. The New York Knicks can get that second seed. Do not get it twisted, my boys. All right, so the 4th seed. Now this is interesting because we got teams like the Milwaukee Bucks, we got teams like the Cleveland Cavaliers. Even a team like Orlando Magic. But yeah, these are 3 teams. Now, each team has its flaws and has its great strengths. You know, with the Bucks, it's Giannis, it's Damian Lillard, Bobby Portis, Chris Middleton. But at the same time, Damian Lillard had a pretty down year compared to Damian Lillard standards. Chris Middleton was hurt like 80% of the season. And, you know, Giannis got hurt as well. There was a lot of factors that made the Milwaukee Bucks, who were the 3 seed. I just don't know. Aging Damian Lillard, aging Chris Middleton, and injuries, and they don't really got a great depth off the bench. It's just tough. But then at the Cleveland Cavaliers, you know, the small backcourt of Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland. You know, they just picked up Jalen Tyson. They just drafted him, Jalen Tyson, I believe. I think Isaac Curry's still not signed. They just gave a huge extension to Evan Mobley. You know, it's very interesting. Jared Allen for the Magic. You know, Paulo Banchero basically cemented himself as a top 20 player. In my eyes, I think he's a top 20 player. Franz Wagner had a down year, but they still finished with the 5th seed. I expect Jalen Suggs to get better, Anthony Black to get better. There's just a lot of things, but if I had to give my 4th seed, I think I have to give the slight edge to the past champions. I think the Milwaukee Bucks are going to be the 4th seed, and hey man, I could see any of these 3 teams. You know, I think 4 through 6 is very interchangeable. I think 1, 2, 3 are it's locked. It's gonna be the Boston Celtics, or it's gonna be Boston Celtics are gonna be 1. We know that. And at the 2 or 3, you could have either the New York Knicks or you can have the Philadelphia 76ers. The 2 and 3 are interchangeable. 4, 5, 6 are interchangeable with each other. They're not interchangeable with 2 and 3, but 2 and 3 are interchangeable with one another. But yeah, and I gotta give it to the Cleveland Cavaliers with my 5th seed. They finished with the 4th seed, 48-34, and where Darius Garland had a super down year. He just struggled everywhere. We heard rumors in the offseason about Garland possibly asking out if Donovan Mitchell resigns, but I think those rumors have been put to an end. I just think there is some friction between them guys, and I just don't know how it's gonna work. Now the talent there is incredible. Evan Mobley just got a huge contract. Jarrett Allen, the rim protectors are crazy. You got elite scoring Donovan Mitchell. You got elite playmaking Darius Garland. It's always been that small forward position, which I don't know if they brought Isaac Okoro back yet, but I think they have made small improvements, small incremental improvements, and I gotta give the 5th seed to them. Now the 6th seed is gonna be the Orlando Magic. Like I mentioned, they finished with the 5th seed last year. They went 47-35, and they had a pretty sizable jump. I expect the Magic to be teetering around 50 wins. I think this year is gonna be a bloodbath. I cannot lie. I think 2 all the way to like 8 is gonna be decided within like 3 games. It's insane to think about. Just the East has gotten so much better over the last couple of years. But I still have to give the advantage to Giannis, Damian Lillard, Donovan Mitchell, and Darius Garland. Franz Wagner, we gotta see if he has that, that leap. Anthony Black, Jalen Suggs, the All-NBA defender. Jonathan Isaac. There's just a whole lot with the Magic. They have so much upside. Paolo Banchero can emerge into a top 10 player. I just gotta give the slight advantage to the experience of the other teams before I give it to the Magic. But I think it's understandable. Now 7th, it's kind of hard, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't think it's an easy. You could put the Pacers there. Who else can you put? Who else can you put? Actually, I think it might be the Pacers. Yeah, I think my 7th seed is gonna be the Indiana Pacers. So the Pacers' biggest move this offseason or this season, who they basically came out and said that Pascal Siakam was their big free agent for this summer, or their big trade for the summer. They just did a bit early at the trade deadline, which makes sense. A full year of Tyrese Maxey, Pascal Siakam, Andrew Nembhard, who's playing phenomenally in Team Canada basketball right now. Obi Toppin just got re-signed. They brought James Johnson back. Jarice Walker should be getting better. I think Jalen Smith is not on the team no more. Isaiah Jackson should be getting better. So I think they do have good core. I just don't think they have the elite stars as the teams above them. I just don't think so. I would give the slight advantage to Paolo over Pascal. In terms of, how do I want to put this? In terms of them being able to... Actually, no. Pascal Siakam is way better than Paolo Banchero right now. Not way better, but he is better. Franz Wagner, I would say, is definitely below Tyrese Maxey, Tyrese Halliburton. But anything after that, Jalen Suggs, I think, is the third best player. Anthony Black is pretty good. I just got to give the slight advantage of the depth that the Magic have over the Indiana Pacers. I think injuries to either Tyrese Halliburton or Pascal Siakam, and everything changes. But I mean, all that could be said for the other teams too. So, I just gotta go with the youth. I just think they have way more depth, and I think the teams above them have way more star power than the Indiana Pacers do. Now, who's after that? Let me just. It's okay. The Rockets, the Bulls. Hold on one second, Chet. Yeah, the Heat gotta be the 8th seed. The Heat, I mean, they drafted a demon Clearware. It's just incredible stuff. Bam Adebayo is gonna be the 4th, and he's gonna be an elite. Bro, that defense is gonna be incredible. They slide Jimmy Butler back to the 3, his natural position. Bam Adebayo goes to 4, and he's been shooting the 3 ball. And he's an elite defender that loves to roam, which he hasn't been able to do so far in his career. But now that they got Cleo Ware, I just think he's gonna be incredible. Terry Rozier, I think the Heat's biggest problem this year was the center spot, and I definitely think that they answered that spot with Cleo Ware, allowing Bam Adebayo slides to 4 and Jimmy Butler to 3. Incredible stuff. They could put Tyler Hero at the 2 spot and put Terry Rozier at the 1, and that could be it could be an incredible lineup. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Okay, now this is where things start to get a little bit tougher, in my opinion. You could put a team like Toronto at the 9 spot. You could put a team like the Bulls, the Rockets. I think the Rockets are going to make a big jump, but they're not a Western Conference team. So what am I saying? Okay. So the 9th seed is going to be the Chicago Bulls. Now, they still have Zach LaVine. They still have Nikola Vucevic. So there are still very, very good players for them. They just drafted Montes Bazuelos. They just re-signed Patrick Williams, Kobe White, Ayo Dosunmu, Dalen Terry. All those guys are going to get better. And I think at the trade deadline, once Zach LaVine and Nikola Vucevic rehash their value and they move off them, I think the Chicago Bulls have a very exciting future. They could complete for a play-in team, or they can fall if injuries happen. I could see a team like Toronto, who I have as my 10th seed, slide up. I think Toronto with R.J. Barrett, Emmanuel Quickley, Scotty Barnes, Ochai Agbaji, they have very good players. Grady Dick, Gary Trent Jr. is not on the Raptors anymore, I believe, right? But they have a very good young core. And I think that, R.J. Barrett looks incredible with Team Canada. I think he's been the leading scorer for them, efficient as hell. Scotty Barnes has taken a jump every year, and I expect another jump, which could cement him as a top 25 player. Emmanuel Quickley, my guy, I expect a huge jump. I expect Emmanuel Quickley to cement himself as a top 10 point guard. I'm saying this right now. I expect Emmanuel Quickley to be a top 10 point guard going after the season. It could get very interesting. Okay, now my 11th seed is the Atlanta Hawks. Now, Atlanta Hawks, I don't know what they're doing. They just traded away DeJounte Murray in a very interesting trade. A lot of media heads had a lot of things to say about the trade. I still don't understand exactly what the goal is. Are they rebuilding? Are they trying to compete still with Trae Young? But the roster is not good enough to help Trae Young. I think it's time for Trae Young to be traded. I really do. As good of a player Trae Young is, I don't think he is. I'm going to get a lot of flack for this. I will. I just don't think that Trae Young can be a starter on a championship team. I don't know why. The talent is incredible. Elite scorer, elite three-point shooter, elite playmaker. But the defense, it just may be the supporting cast. They have never really put a good supporting cast around him. But they have tried. They put DeJounte Murray next to him. I mean, DeJounte Murray acts good of it. He's supposed to help Trae Young with his flaws. Be able to guard the ones and twos and give Trae Young break on the defensive side so he could be a offensive demon. But at times it just didn't. It looked very clunky. Trae Young is not very good off the ball. DeJounte Murray struggled, but when you saw Trae Young go down, DeJounte Murray looked incredible. So there was a lot of ups and downs with the Hawks. They just drafted Zachary Ricochet. Nneka Okongwu is still there. Clint Capella, I think he's on the trade block. There's just a lot of turmoil with the Atlanta Hawks, and I just don't think that. I think Trae Young will be traded this deadline. I really do. I think it's time for Trae Young and the Atlanta Hawks to go their separate ways. Okay. Now my 12th seed is going to be the Charlotte Hornets. I expect LaMelo Ball to play at least 65 games. I hope. We cannot have another 25 game of LaMelo Ball. He is such an electric player to watch when he's on the court. His playmaking ability, his ability to shoot the ball, his ability to do the flashy passes. Brandon Miller's looked incredible in the summer league. I expect him to take another jump. They just re-signed Miles Bridges. Despite his off-court stuff, he's still an incredible basketball player. Still can shoot the ball very well. I think he needed time and to be able to, get into the flow of things and be a team player and stuff. So he kind of struggled. I didn't really watch much of the Hornets. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. it is what it is. You know, kind of bad team. LaMelo not playing. Nobody wants to watch Miles Bridges play. But yeah, they do have a good young, you know, depth. They got like Grant Williams, Nick Richardson, Nick Smith Jr., Mark Williams, Josh Green, Cody Martin. There's just a lot of good young players. They got Trey Mann. They got a lot of good young players if you think about it. I just think that it depends on LaMelo Ball. LaMelo Ball is what can take them from being a bottom feeder like the 12th seed to a playing team. I think LaMelo Ball has that much of pull with him that I think he is the deciding factor of them being a top 10 seed or a bottom 3 seed. But yeah, my 13th seed is going to be the Detroit Pistons. Now, the Detroit Pistons last year was the worst team in the NBA, 14-68. I think they were on multiple 15 to 20 game loss streaks. It was just a disappointing brand of basketball to watch for the Detroit Pistons. I feel for them, man. Being the 15th seed, being the worst, and dropping to the 5 spot, getting Ron Holland. They could. I mean, it was the worst. It was a bad draft class. In terms of like superstar talent. Them dropping to 5, even though being the worst team in the NBA and dropping to 5, still not cool. But they just give Cade Cunningham a major extension, rookie max, and I think it's time for Cade Cunningham. I think it's time for him to take the Pistons to a little bit of a better record. It's time. He's an incredible player. I think he is still the best player to come out of this draft. We've seen Scotty Barnes, we've seen guys like them, but I think Cade Cunningham is the better player, is the best player in the draft. And I think it's time. I think it's time for him to play. I think the Pistons have to really, really lock in this year and make a huge move to get Cade Cunningham some help. It's time, man. Cade Cunningham is too good of a talent to be stuck on the Detroit Pistons with a mediocre roster. I think it's time for them to really lock in. Now my 14th seed is going to be the Washington Wizards. Still don't know what's going on with the Wizards, man. Jordan Poole, untradeable contract, looked terrible last year. They just traded away Denny Avdija for just a terrible trade. They drafted Alexander Sorg, who had struggled tremendously in the summer league, and there's been a lot of hate pieces on Alexander Sorg. Now we do gotta pump the brakes a little bit, he is only in summer league, man. Come on, you gotta give him some time. But a lot of things that people have said have, kind of been true a little bit, If you watch his games, if you watch his college games, he's not really strong. Can't really take it into the paint. He doesn't have a very good handle. Shot is okay at best, it's subpar. He can't really play with contact. Struggles at the rim. His best attribute is his defensibility. And even then, he's picked up 4 fouls in summer league, which is, it's kind of tough to think about. But they do have guys that can really help. It's just they have to move off Jordan Poole, and the Wizards have a lot of things that they need, bro. It's not looking good for the Wizards for the next couple of years. I mean, it hasn't looked good for them in a long time. But hey, man, at least they were one win better than the worst team in the NBA. So there's that. You gotta give them some props. And now to finish off my Eastern Conference rankings is going to be the Brooklyn Nets, who made a major move, trading Mikal Bridges for basically 6 to 7 first-round picks, multiple pick swaps, multiple seconds, and they traded multiple seconds. They just made an incredible trade. They traded with the Rockets to get their first back this year, so they can finally tank. They just signed Killian Hayes, Ben Simmons. Tank Commander is about to be insane work. It's about to be an insane tank for Cooper Flag this year, and it's going to be incredible to see what the Brooklyn Nets do. I'm going to be watching the Brooklyn Nets play the New York Knicks at Barclays for the cheaper tickets because the MSG prices are oof. But yeah, man, this is my ranking. What you guys think? Is there any teams you guys would change? I know my New York Knicks fans would definitely want us to be the 2 seed, drop them down. I think the Bucks fans would want to be the 2 seed. Everybody knows that the Boston Celtics are the 1. But I think 4 through 7 is very interchangeable. I think there's a case for each one of these teams to be top 4 seed, and there's a very good case for each one of these teams to be a 7th seed. But yeah, guys, let me know in the comment section below how you guys feel about my rankings. Do you guys enjoy it? Did you guys like it? Is there anything that you would change? Please be constructive, but please be respectful. That's all I ask. You know, basketball is very objective. So, you know, you might have different opinions, I might have different opinions, but at the end of the day, it's basketball, and that's the fun of it, that's the beauty of it, that anybody can come in and talk basketball, and, you know, there's nuance to the topic. But yeah, guys, let me know in the comment section below how you guys feel. Hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, YouTube.